Since its inception, the conflict between Palestine and Israel has shaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, affecting millions of lives. Today, we will explore the origins of this war, the events leading up to the latest ceasefire deal, and what this agreement means for the future of these two nations and the world at large. Segment 1. The origins of the conflict. The war between Palestine and Israel dates back to the early 20th century. While tensions had long existed between Arabs and Jews over land, the formal conflict began in 1948 with the establishment of the State of Israel. Following the United Nations Partition Plan in 1947, violence erupted as both sides contested territorial claims. The roots of this war lie in competing nationalist movements, religious significance of the land, and colonial decisions that left both sides at odds. Since then, there have been multiple wars, uprisings, and attempts at peace, but the conflict remains unresolved. Segment 2. Why the latest ceasefire is crucial. After weeks of intense fighting, a ceasefire deal has finally been brokered. But what makes this ceasefire different from previous ones? And why is it so critical to adhere to it? This ceasefire, mediated by specific countries, Egypt, Qatar, the United States, aims to halt all hostilities. The key points include the cessation of airstrikes by Israel, a stop to rocket attacks from Gaza, and a commitment to address humanitarian issues such as the blockade on Gaza. Segment 3. The stakes. Why both sides must follow the deal. Both Israel and Palestine have suffered immense losses during the conflict. Tens of thousands of civilians have been killed or injured. Infrastructure has been decimated, and generations have grown up in the shadow of war. By adhering to the ceasefire, they can work toward rebuilding and addressing the root causes of their conflict. For Palestine, breaking the ceasefire could result in devastating retaliatory strikes and further economic hardship under tightened blockades. For Israel, breaching the agreement could lead to international condemnation, loss of allies, and heightened regional instability. The global community has also stressed that this deal is critical to maintaining regional peace, and breaking it could lead to even broader conflicts involving neighboring countries. Segment 4. Consequences of breaking the ceasefire. If either side violates the agreement, the consequences could be severe. Not only would hostilities resume, but it could lead to an escalation involving external powers like Iran, the United States, and others. Furthermore, it would erode trust in future peace negotiations and deepen the already profound humanitarian crisis in the region. Segment 5. Losses so far. The toll of this conflict has been staggering. For Palestine, the recent fighting has caused the death of over 45,936 civilians, including the children and women. Entire neighborhoods in Gaza have been reduced to rubble. On the Israeli side, 1,706 civilians and soldiers have lost their lives. Rocket attacks have caused widespread destruction, fear, and economic losses. The human cost is immeasurable, with families torn apart, children growing up in war zones, and widespread trauma. Segment 6. Hope for peace. What's next? The ceasefire deal is not just a pause in fighting, it's an opportunity for both sides to address the underlying issues of the conflict, such as land disputes, security concerns, and the rights of the Palestinian people. Countries like Egypt and Qatar, who helped mediate this agreement, must continue their efforts to ensure its success. The international community must hold both parties accountable while providing humanitarian aid to those who need it most. This ceasefire is a fragile yet critical step toward peace. While the road ahead is long and uncertain, the hope for a better future remains. Let's hope that this time, the silence of the guns will last, and both nations can finally find a way to coexist in peace. What are your thoughts on this ceasefire? Do you think it will last? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses on global conflicts and their implications.